Welcome back. Right, so today I'm going to take a look at this product. It's by a company called Sound Particles, and this particular product is called Brightness Panner. Before I start, I'd like to say a big shout out to Diogo, and now I hope I have pronounced that correctly, and to whoever it was that said to me on the YouTube video that I need to talk slower. I will do so. Okay, so this is Brightness Panner. It is an effects plugin available in AAX, VST, VST3, AU, and Windows and Mac compatible. Now, this is an effects processor, so let's just go and see what this thing does. Because it says Panner in the title, you can already guess what it's going to be able to do. So at the top here on the left-hand side, you have your start and you have your movement. These will determine where the sound starts and where it will end, and obviously that will go for the movement as well. Below that, you have a notes where you can select the frequency where the note starts. So if you look here where I am using the rotary encoder, you can see it's going from C1 on your keyboard all the way up to C10, and round about C6 will be 1K. If we go to the brightness, so listen to purely the sound. In the center here, you have what I call an orbit. So this is where the sound you will see the movement of the particular frequency that you are targeting. At the top here, you have your wet dry encoder. Below that, you have your master encoder. Here on the right hand side, you have your output LEDs, and you can choose what type of sound you want. So you can have your stereo, your XY axis, or your mid side chain, or your binaurals, and all the way down to 7.1. Obviously, we are going to just be using in the stereo mode, so that's what I'm going to do here, because we're not using 7.1. And at the top here, you will see a number of presets. One of the things that is a massive bugbear for me in normal days is the fact that many of the legacy software, they weren't scalable. So if you're using it on your lap, it's either way too big or way too small. Thankfully, Sound Particles has allowed this particular product to be scalable and all the way to 400%. I'm currently on 100%. I am running a 33-inch widescreen monitor, so it fits perfectly. Okay, so less talk and more sounds. What I've done with this particular plugin is I have added it to my Rhodes piano, and I've added it to a Vibraphone. So let's go through them both. Let's make sure they're turned off so we can hear them in their default state. And then we will see what this thing sounds like. So let's first hear the Rhodes. Now, sometimes I will solo these things so that we can hear it in isolation. But normally, if you're trying to do this type of very finessing type of sound works, you want to hear it in the mixer, and that's exactly what we will do. So grab your headphones, let's get started, and we will listen to what this thing sounds like. Let's start with the Rhodes, and we will start in the default mode. So a very simple scale being played there, and it is a stereo file, but it sounds a little flat. We want to feel as if we're in the room. So what we're going to do is we're going to engage that particular plugin, and we are going to slide through some of the presets to see what we can do and how we can improve that sound. So as you can already hear, it's making a massive improvement. So let's just play it. We'll play it, and then we will bypass it so you can hear what that sounds like. So let's play it. Let me just narrow down the loop portion so we don't overextend. So let's go down to somewhere here. So we're just looping this particular Rhodes piano here. And let's bypass it now. That's in the bypass mode. And let's engage. So we can already start to hear that movement, and this one here is on the sliding. So let's slide through some of the presets. It will jump between the sliding and the panning because we are simply using the presets. But before we move on here, you can see that there are a number of numbers at the bottom, and these indicate where the sound is falling in the frequency spectrum. So if we play it, we can see exactly where this sound is. So I'm guessing on the lower end, we're somewhere between 104 and in the upper end, let's check that now. So we can bring that down. We can actually bring down the upper end if we want to. But let's just play it and we can see what it sounds like. Here on inside this circle, you can see that there are some. It's first of all, it's telling you the direction because you see the direction of travel and the arrows. So we can see what that sounds like. And let's just play with it for a second, and then we will start making some adjustments. Down here, you can see that we can adjust the direction that this thing goes in, whether it goes clockwise or counterclockwise, and just on the right hand side here we can see that we can do a random selection. So let's just go through some of the presets and hear what they sound like on this particular Rhodes. Now, where the pitch is concerned, we can see that we are falling slightly. So if we're going through and we're doing the slide, we're doing the sliding here, but where you can see the pitch, if you look at this when the sound is being played, I think we're below C4. So there's a lot of movement down at the C2, C1. So let's just drag that back a little bit. And now you can hear there's a lot more movement. And if we drag it up again, we are restricting its movement. Let's try that there. Let's continue with some more of the presets. Again, on this particular one, let's just adjust the low end. So already you can see what this is trying to do. It's looking for the frequencies and it's simply saying, okay, I found some frequencies, let's make some adjustments. And as you can see here, we have the low end and we have the high end, and we can bring this down. We know it's not way more than 1K. So we can actually bring the low end, the high end down a little to match it so that it sits in that frequency pocket nicely. Okay, so let's listen to the other half. So we can still play through some of the presets, but let's listen to the Vibraphone as well. So let's engage that one there and see what that sounds like. So let's pull this out a tad so that we can get to it, and we'll hear what that sounds like there. So let's just play it as is. So let's play the Vibraphone in the bypass mode, and there we'll engage the plugin to see what that sounds like. Again, it's a stereo file, but it seems kind of flat. And again, we want some movement, we want some warmth, and we want to feel as if we're in the room. So let's just add the plugin and see where we go. So let's engage the plugin. I'm not even sure. Here we are, we're on no preset. So let's just engage the plugin and see what we get. I'm sure you can already hear that it's already making a difference. We'll slide through some of the presets on that one as well. It's currently on the sliding. We'll slide through some of those presets and see what it sounds like. And on the binatural ones, you can see these little anchors here. You can hold them and make a finesse to the sound that you want to hear. So you can keep playing with this until you get the right sound. And as with most things, DAW wise, you can, if you find something that if you're adjusting it by hand, you can certainly go ahead and automate that as well. So that's a lovely touch there as well. This one's called Hype Panner. Let's drop it back because we're still on the Vibraphone. I do love this sound. It's giving me that movement that I want. This is not as high, but it's moving from a left to a right. So let's open up the track and see what this thing sounds like more in the tracks. Just go all the way to the end of the track. And just play through it, and we'll do both of them, the Vibraphone and also the Rhodes. We'll flick through some of the sounds there and see what they sound like. Let's go to the Rhodes. And you can also notice that we can adjust the attack and release, so we'll do some adjustments there as well. Just that kind of finessing. Now, with most plugins that add the extra depth in the width, we want to be very careful because we don't want to introduce any phase cancelling. So do be very careful when you're adding these very, very wide sounds. In this particular track, there aren't that many elements to it anyway, and for the most part, the drums or the bass, nothing else has been processed. So all we're really doing is we're affecting the Rhodes and the Vibraphone. So we won't really be adding any extra dimensions to it that will take it above that threshold. But that is something that you certainly need to be aware of. If you have a track then it's got many instruments in it and you've got sort of reverb and delay and all sorts of things going on, just be careful of that. Just we'll carry on playing and we'll flick through some of the sounds on here just to see what else we have. Now I do like the movements on this wah effect. Let's try the Vibraphone. And let's lower the low end and increase the upper frequencies. I like that. As I said, the plugin's already out. I really do like playing with this, and I could play with this for ages and ages, and you'll be bored because you kind of want to do this yourself. But the plugin's already out. It's by a company called Sound Particles, and this particular product is called Brightness Panner. There are a suite of products you can buy, and I believe this is also in a bundle. So if you really do want to get yourself a deal, pick up the bundle. There are really lots of other beautiful products in there. As I said, this is called Sound Particles. This is by Sound Particles. It's called Brightness Panner. It's available now on all platforms, so you have your Windows and you have your Mac, and it's AAX, VST, VST3 and AU. It's available now. I can't remember the price, but I will leave all the links in the description as to where you can find this. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Please leave a comment. I try to get to most comments, if not all comments, good and bad. And to whoever said I should slow down, hopefully I've slowed down the conversation. So I'll see you guys again this week. Take care for now. Bye bye.